Hey, my friends, this is Ryan, and welcome back to Fluent Flow, English Podcast. Are you studying English but still feel stuck? Maybe you watch videos, do exercises, and try many apps, but inside you feel tired and a little frustrated. Other people seem calm and confident with English, but for you it feels heavy, like one more thing on a long to-do list. In today's episode, we will talk about 7 calm habits that can change this. These habits are inspired by a famous book about effective people, but here we use them in a very simple way for English learners. Each habit is a small action that fits into a busy day and helps you feel more in control, not more stressed. We will see how to take tiny actions, how to choose a clear direction for your English, how to protect time for what really matters, how to grow with other learners, how to listen calmly, how to mix your strengths, and how to take care of your energy. You do not need perfect grammar to start. You only need an open mind and a kind attitude toward yourself. Stay with me until the end, because you will not only learn the 7 calm habits, but you will also create a simple 7-day challenge to start using them in your real life. First, let's begin with the habit that changes everything. Stop waiting for perfect conditions and become a small action captain. Now we start with the first calm habit, becoming a small action captain. This means you do not wait for the perfect time, the perfect course, or the perfect teacher. You use what you have today. A captain does not stay in the harbor forever waiting for perfect weather. The captain looks at the sky, feels the wind, and says, "Okay, it is not perfect, but we can move." You can do the same with your English. Maybe you think, "I will start speaking when my grammar is better," or "I will practice when I have more free time." But life is always busy. When you think like this, English stays as a dream in the future, not a habit in your day. Being a small action captain means you do one tiny thing now, even if you are tired, even if you are scared, even if it is not perfect. Imagine a normal morning. You make coffee or tea. You have 5 minutes before work. A passive learner scrolls social media in their first language. A small action captain presses record on their phone and speaks 1 minute in English about their day. Same 5 minutes, very different result over 1 month. After 30 days, the passive learner has nothing. The small action captain has 30 short audios and a stronger voice in English. Small actions can be very simple. You can describe what you see in your kitchen. You can talk about your plans for the weekend. You can repeat 3 short sentences from this episode out loud. You do not need a big plan. You just need to make English appear in your real life every single day in some small way. Think about a learner called Anna. For many years, she said, "I cannot speak English because I do not have anyone to talk to." One day, she decided to change. She started to record herself for 1 minute every evening. At first, she felt silly and nervous. Her sentences were slow. Sometimes she did not know the word she wanted, but she kept going. After a few weeks, her sentences became smoother, and she felt less afraid of her own voice. When you become a small action captain, you also change your identity. You stop saying, "I am lazy" or "I am bad at languages." You start saying, "I am the kind of person who does something for my English every day." This new identity gives you quiet confidence. You know that even on a busy or bad day, you can still do one small thing. So ask yourself, what is one tiny action you can take today? Maybe it is recording your voice. Maybe it is shadowing one paragraph. Maybe it is writing a short message to a friend in English. Choose one and do it today. In the next habit, we will add something very important to your small actions, a clear picture of where you want your English to go. Now that you are taking small actions, we add the second calm habit, having a clear end in mind. "I want to learn English" is a good wish, but it is not a clear picture. It is like saying, "I want to travel," without choosing a country. When your goal is too general, your brain does not know what to do today, so you feel lost and jump from video to video without a plan. Having a clear end in mind means you can close your eyes and see your future English life. Maybe you see yourself at an airport, asking for information with calm. Maybe you see yourself in a job interview, answering questions with simple but confident sentences. Maybe you see yourself listening to a podcast while cooking and understanding the main ideas. This picture is not perfect, but it is specific. To make this picture stronger, we use a very simple tool: sentences that start with "I can." Take a notebook or the Notes app on your phone. Write 2 or 3 sentences about your future English. For example, "I can travel to another country and ask for help when I need it." "I can join a simple meeting at work and share my opinion." "I can listen to one English podcast episode and understand most of it." These sentences tell your brain where you are going. When you have these "I can" sentences, daily decisions become easier. You do not need to ask, "What should I study today?" all the time. You can look at your sentences and choose one small action that moves you closer. If your sentence is about travel, you can practice airport questions. If your sentence is about meetings, you can practice phrases for agreeing, disagreeing, and asking for clarification. This habit also protects your time and energy. When a new video, course, or app appears, you can ask, "Does this help my end in mind or not?" If the answer is no, you can say no without guilt. You stop feeling that you must do everything. Doing a few things that match your end in mind is much more powerful than doing many random things. A clear end in mind does not mean you never change. Your life can change, your job can change, your dreams can change. But when that happens, you simply write new "I can" sentences. You are still the captain of your English ship. You are just choosing a new destination with intention, not by accident. So take a moment today to write your future English in 2 or 3 "I can" sentences. Put them where you can see them every day. In the next habit, we will talk about how to protect a little piece of your day so you actually walk toward this picture instead of just thinking about it. Now we move to the third calm habit: putting the big stones first. Maybe you know the famous story of the jar. A teacher has a glass jar, some big stones, small stones, sand, and water. If he starts with the sand and the small stones, there is no space for the big stones. But if he puts the big stones first, then the small stones, then the sand, everything fits. Your day is like that jar, and your English time is one of the big stones. In real life, the sand is all the little things that steal your time and attention. Endless scrolling, random notifications, checking messages every few minutes. These things feel urgent, but they are not important for your future. A big stone is something that really moves you toward your clear end in mind. 10 minutes of focused listening, 5 minutes of speaking, reading a short text and underlining new phrases. When you do not think about big stones, your day fills with sand by default. You wake up, touch your phone, and suddenly 30 minutes are gone. At night, you feel tired and think, "I did not have time for English today." But the truth is, English was a big stone that entered the jar too late. To change this, you do not need a perfect schedule. You just need to choose one small big stone for English and do it first. Here's a simple idea. Choose one English activity that takes between 5 and 20 minutes. It could be listening to this podcast, shadowing one paragraph, or recording yourself speaking. Decide when you will do it. For example, every weekday before I open social media, I listen to 10 minutes of English. Or after lunch, I walk for 10 minutes and listen to an easy podcast episode. This clear decision turns your big stone into a real habit. Using a timer can help a lot. When you start your English activity, set a timer for your chosen time. During this time, protect your focus. No messages, no other tabs, no multitasking. It is only you and English. 15 calm minutes like this can be more powerful than one distracted hour. At the end, you feel proud because you know you respected your big stone. Over time, this habit changes your story about yourself. You stop saying, "I never have time," and start saying, "I protect time for what matters." Your English is no longer something you do only when you are free. It becomes one of your big stones, like family, health, or important work. In the next habit, we will see how other people can become partners in this journey, not competitors who make you feel small. Now we arrive at the fourth calm habit. We grow together. Many learners secretly see other students as enemies. When they see someone speaking better, they feel small and think, "I am so behind." This creates stress and shame, not progress. In a calm English life, other learners are not your competitors. They are your partners on the same road. Thinking win-win means you believe there is space for everyone to grow. Another person's progress does not take away your progress. In fact, it can help you. When you share tips, resources, and encouragement, you create a small team. A team can go much further than one lonely person. Even if your friends are at a different level, you can still grow together. Win-win actions are very simple. You can send a message to a friend who is also learning English and say, "Do you want to listen to this episode with me this week?" You can share a phrase you learned and ask, "How would you use this in your life?" You can comment, "Good job," when someone posts a voice message in a study group. You give something, but you also receive energy, ideas, and new perspectives. If you join an online group or community, this habit becomes even more powerful. Imagine a small group of 3 or 4 learners. One person is good at finding interesting content, another is good at pronunciation, another has strong discipline and always shows up. When they meet once a week, each person brings their strength and everyone wins. You do not need a big group. You just need 1 or 2 people who want to grow with you. Win-win also changes how you react when you see someone better than you. Instead of thinking, "I will never speak like that," you can think, "What can I learn from this person?" Maybe you copy one of their phrases. Maybe you ask them one question about their routine. This curious, friendly attitude keeps your heart open and your mind relaxed. Of course, not every space on the internet feels safe or kind. If you are in a group where people laugh at mistakes or show off all the time, you have the right to leave. A healthy win-win environment is one where people respect each other, use simple language when needed, and celebrate small steps. It should feel like a team, not a competition. As you practice this habit, you may notice something beautiful. When you encourage others, you also encourage yourself. Your brain hears your own kind words and starts to believe them. You slowly become the kind of learner who says, "We grow together." In the next habit, we will see how calm listening can make your conversations safer and more enjoyable, even if your vocabulary is still simple. Now we come to the 5th calm habit. Listen first, then speak. Many learners think that speaking is the most important skill, so they feel bad when they are quiet. But calm communication starts with listening. When you listen to understand, not just to answer, you feel less pressure. You do not need to talk all the time to be a good communicator. Listening first means you give attention to the other person or to the audio in front of you. If you are in a conversation, you look at the person's face, watch their mouth, and try to feel their emotion. If you are listening to a podcast, you focus on the story, not on every single word. Your goal is to catch the main ideas: who, what, when, where, why, and how. In English learning, this habit helps a lot with fear. Many students are afraid of conversations because they think, "What if I do not understand everything?" With this habit, you change the rule. You say, "I only need to understand the main idea and a few key details." This is realistic, especially at A1 to B1 level. When you give yourself this permission, your shoulders relax and your brain can work better. You can practice listen first in very simple ways. For example, choose a short audio, like one part of this episode. Listen once without pausing. Then, in your own language or in simple English, say to yourself, "This audio is about," and explain the main idea. After that, listen again and write 3 or 4 words or phrases that you hear clearly. You are training your ears step by step. In real conversations, you can also use calm listening phrases. When someone speaks, you can say, "I see," "I understand," or "That's interesting," to show you are there with them. If you do not understand, you can ask, "Can you say that again, more slowly?" Or, "Do you mean," and repeat what you understood. These small phrases make conversations safer and more human. Listening first does not mean you never speak. It means that when you speak, your words are connected to what you heard. You are not just waiting for your turn. You are answering a real person. This creates a feeling of connection, even if your grammar is not perfect and your vocabulary is still simple. As you practice this habit, you may notice that your speaking also improves. Because you listen more, you hear natural expressions, sentence patterns, and intonation. Without a lot of pressure, your brain starts to copy these things. In the next habit, we will take this idea of connection one step further and see how mixing strengths with other people can create even faster progress in your English. Now we reach the 6th calm habit, better together. This is the idea of synergy, but in very simple words. Synergy means that when we work together, we create more than we can create alone. 1 + 1 becomes more than 2. For English learners, this habit is about mixing your strengths with the strengths of other people and of different activities. Imagine a small study group of 3 people. Maria loves vocabulary and always finds new phrases. Joam has great pronunciation and likes to copy native speakers. Lila is very organized and never misses a session. Alone, each person can grow, but when they meet once a week, they combine their powers. Maria brings new phrases, João helps with how to say them, and Lila makes a simple plan for the week. The result is much bigger than if each one studied alone. Synergy can also happen inside your own routine when you mix skills. Instead of only doing one thing for a long time, you can connect 2 or 3 small actions. For example, you listen to a short audio, write 3 key sentences from it, and then speak those sentences out loud in your own life situation. In 15 or 20 minutes, you practiced listening, writing, and speaking in a connected way. Another example of synergy is combining English with things you already enjoy. Maybe you like cooking. You can watch one easy recipe video in English and then explain the steps to yourself while you cook. Maybe you enjoy games or sports. You can follow one creator who talks about this topic in simple English. Your hobby gives you energy, and English gives you progress. Together, they feel lighter. To use this habit, you do not need a perfect group or a big plan. You just need to ask a simple question. How can I mix this with something or someone else? If you have a friend who is also learning, invite them to share one small task every week, like sending each other a 30-second voice message. If you already listen to podcasts, choose one day to also write 3 sentences from what you heard. When you practice synergy, your English life becomes more fun and creative. You feel less alone because you are connected to real people and real interests. Small actions from different directions start to support each other. In the next habit, we will see how to keep all these good habits alive by taking care of your English energy, your body, your mind, and your motivation. Now we arrive at the 7th calm habit. Sharpen your English energy. This comes from the idea of sharpening a saw. If you cut wood for many hours without a break, the saw becomes dull and heavy. You work harder, but the results are smaller. It is the same with your brain and your energy for English. If you always push without rest, your progress becomes slower and more stressful. Sharpening your English energy means taking care of your body and mind so they can learn well. Sleep is one of the most powerful tools. When you sleep, your brain processes new information and builds connections. If you go to bed very late and always feel tired, it is harder to remember vocabulary and stay focused. Sometimes, the best thing you can do for your English is to close your book and go to sleep. Rest is not only about sleep, it is also about short breaks during your study time. For example, you can study English for 20 minutes and then take a 5-minute break to stretch, drink water, or look away from the screen. This small pause helps your brain reset. When you come back, you are fresher and can learn more in less time. Sharpening your energy also means choosing content that is not only hard, but also enjoyable. If you always force yourself to watch difficult news, you may feel heavy and tired. Instead, you can mix challenging material with fun things, a song you like, a simple series, a podcast with stories. When you enjoy the content, your brain stays curious and open. Another part of this habit is review. Many learners always chase something new, a new video, a new list, a new app. But real progress happens when you come back to the same material several times. Each review is like sharpening your saw. You notice words you missed before. You understand more details. You feel more confident because the content becomes familiar. You can create a very simple review system. For example, on Fridays, you choose one thing you studied that week and you watch, read, or listen again. Or you keep a small list of your favorite episodes and return to them once a month. Review is not going backwards, it is making your foundation strong. When you sharpen your English energy, you respect your limits and your humanity. You understand that you are not a machine. You need sleep, rest, fun, and repetition. With this calm base, the other habits become easier. In the next part, we will put all 7 calm habits together into a simple weekly plan you can really use in your busy life. Now we put the 7 calm habits together in one simple weekly plan. Many learners think they need to study for hours every day to see progress. In real life, most people do not have this time. The good news is you do not need a perfect routine. You need a small, realistic plan that you can repeat many times. First, choose your daily minimum. This is the smallest English action you will do even on a busy, tired day. It could be 5 minutes of listening while you make coffee, or 2 minutes of speaking to yourself in the mirror. This daily minimum connects to habit 1, being a small action captain. You decide that doing something tiny is always possible. Second, Connect your daily actions to your clear end in mind from habit 2. Look at your I can sentences and ask, what is one action today that moves me closer? If your goal is travel, maybe your daily action is to practice airport questions. If your goal is meetings, maybe you practice one useful work phrase. Your small actions have a direction. Third, protect one big stone session each day or a few times per week, like we saw in habit 3. This could be 15 to 30 minutes where you focus more deeply. For example, on Monday, you listen to one easy podcast and write 3 sentences. On Wednesday, you record yourself speaking for 5 minutes about your week. On Friday, you review something from earlier in the week. Fourth, add the social habits. Once a week, practice habit 4 and 6 by growing together and using synergy. You can have a short call with a friend, send voice messages, or join a small group session. Remember, it does not need to be long. Even 20 minutes of real connection can give you a lot of energy. Fifth, include calm listening from habit 5 in your plan. For example, 3 times a week, you choose one short audio and practice listen first. You listen once for the main idea and once for a few key phrases. You can write what you understood in simple English. This trains your ears and gives you more confidence for conversations. Finally, do not forget habit 7. Sharpen your English energy. In your weekly plan, add one small review moment and one small fun moment. Review could be listening again to your favorite episode. Fun could be a song, a series, or a story you enjoy. These moments keep your brain happy and your motivation alive. You do not need to use all 7 habits every day. You can choose 2 or 3 habits to focus on this week and change next week. The most important part is this. English becomes a calm, regular part of your week, not a big, stressful project. In the next part, we will close the episode by remembering the main message and choosing your first calm habit to start today. We have walked through the 7 calm habits for English learners. Let us remember the heart of this episode. Fluency does not grow from panic, guilt, or magic solutions. It grows from small, kind actions that you repeat many times. When you see yourself as a calm learner, not a desperate one, the journey becomes lighter. Habit 1 was about becoming a small action captain, doing something now with what you have. Habit 2 gave you a clear end in mind with simple I can sentences to describe your future English. Habit 3 helped you put the big stones first and protect a little piece of time for what really matters. Habit 4 and 6 showed how we grow together and how synergy makes your progress faster and more fun. Habit 5 invited you to listen first, then speak, so conversations can feel safer and more human. Habit 7 reminded you to sharpen your English energy with sleep, breaks, review, and enjoyable content. Together, these habits create a quiet, strong base. You're not just studying English. You are building an English life that fits inside your real life. Maybe in the past you tried to change everything in 1 week, and then you stopped because it was too heavy. This time, we will do something different. We will choose 1 habit, or at most 2, to focus on for the next 7 days. After that, you can add another one. Step by step, your identity and your routine will change. Take a moment to notice which habit spoke to your heart today. Was it the idea of small actions? Was it the clear end in mind? Was it protecting your time, connecting with others, listening calmly, mixing strengths, or sharpening your energy? There is no right answer. The best habit is the one you are ready to start now. Remember, you do not need to be perfect,
but you can be consistent and kind with yourself. Every small action is a vote for your future English. Every calm decision builds trust with yourself. When you look back in a few months, you'll see that these quiet habits created real, visible progress. In a moment, I will invite you to choose your 7-day Calm Habit Challenge and to connect this episode with another one that can support your journey. For now, just hold this picture in your mind. You living your life with English as a natural, peaceful part of your day. So now it is your turn. Choose 1 or 2 of the 7 calm habits from this episode and turn them into your own 7-day challenge.
Maybe you will record yourself for 1 minute every day. Maybe you will write your I can sentences and read them each morning. Maybe you will protect 1 big stone for English before social media. Keep it small, clear, and kind. If you want, write your habit in a notebook or in the comments where you listen to this podcast. When you write it, your brain understands this is important. You can also share this episode with a friend who is learning English and invite them to do the challenge with you. Growing together makes the journey lighter and more fun. If this episode helped you, remember to follow the podcast, leave a rating, and turn on the notifications so you do not miss the next episodes. This simple action also tells the platforms that this content is useful for other learners. And if you want to go deeper into building your English environment, I recommend another episode from Fluent Flow, the one where I explain how I became fluent by creating my own English environment at home. There, you will learn how to live with English every day, even if you cannot travel. Listen to that episode after this one to keep your calm habits alive and stronger. Thank you for listening, my friends. Take a deep breath, choose your habit, and I will see you in the next episode.